In the previous class, we discussed some of the linear optical properties of quantum confined structures, which was important for photonic applications. Apart from such linear effects, there are many possible nonlinear optical effects that can take place in quantum wells. Two important types of nonlinear optical effects exhibited in quantum confined structures are electro-optic effect and optically induced refractive index change. In electro-optic effect, the change in the optical properties is produced by the application of an electric field. In both these cases, there can be a change in the optical absorption delta alpha due to applied electric or optical fields. The Kramers-Kronig relation relates the change in the optical absorption to a corresponding change in the real part of the refractive index. The change delta alpha and consequently delta n can be used for all optical switching, gating and signal processing. There are different mechanisms which can lead to change in the absorption properties of the materials. One of them is the phase space filling, which leads to optical absorption saturation near the bandgap energy. These effects can be used for developing various kinds of devices and is a serious candidate for applications in laser mode locking. And this effect arises at higher concentrations of electrons and holes or excitons. When we shine a laser beam on the material, the resulting optical absorption generates a significant population of electrons and holes, either creating excitons or free carriers. Absorbing directly into the exciton peaks will generate excitons, whereas absorbing at higher photon energies will usually generate free carriers. For steady state effects at room temperature with continuous laser beams, it makes little difference when we generate, since the excitons will ionize rapidly and in thermal equilibrium we will essentially have only free carriers. So optical absorption spectrum of a material changes with the intensity of the light incident on it, as shown in this figure. Here you can see that while low intensity light clearly shows the excitonic peaks, such features are absent when the intensity of the light becomes very high. The detailed physics of such phenomena is very complicated and can only be analyzed using many body theory. However, a qualitative explanation for this process can be given based on the K-level filling of excitons. The K-levels or the momentum space of excitons, which is also described as the phase space, are described by a linear combination of the K levels of the free electrons and holes. If these K levels of the free electrons and holes are already occupied, they cannot be used again to describe another exciton state, as the electrons and holes are fermions and must obey the Pauli exclusion principle. In other words, two electrons or holes of the same spin cannot occupy the same K level. Thus, at high exciton densities, the probability of forming additional excitons decreases with increasing laser intensity. Consequently, the excitonic absorption saturates and eventually no absorption taking place at the excitonic energy. This state with no absorption is also referred to as a bleached state, and the process is called photophysical bleaching due to saturation and can lead to complete transmission of the exciting light. Such a medium is called a saturable absorber. Another mechanism that can lead to changes in absorption coefficient of the material is the bandgap renormalization. Under high exciton density, which produces a dense electron hole plasma, there is an effective bandgap narrowing that results from the screened electron hole interaction and exchange interactions. In the absence of these many body effects, average energy of the combining carriers is just the bare energy gap plus the average kinetic energy of the electrons and holes. In the presence of many body effects, there is a competition between electron-hole interaction contributing negative energy and electron and hole repulsion adding to the positive energy. This results in a net negative energy term per particle. This implies that the average separation between the electrons or the holes is smaller than it would be in the absence of exchange interactions. This electron-hole interaction increases faster with the carrier density and dominates over the single electron kinetic energy, which leads to an increase in the energy of the valence band maximum and a decrease in the energy of the conduction band minimum. Thus, at high carrier densities, one observes a narrowing of the effective band gap. As a result, the combination of these energy terms gives an effective energy gap that decreases with carrier density, and this effect is called band gap renormalization. Yet another process that can lead to change in the absorption property is the formation of biexcitons. Biexcitons are higher order complexes formed by binding of two excitons. The new optical transitions corresponding to biexcitons produces a change in the absorption coefficient and consequently the refractive index. In the fifth lecture, we had seen that nanoscale confinement of electrons can lead to new cooperative optical transitions from biexcitons. Energy levels of biexcitons are below the total energy of the two individual excitons. So absorption properties of materials gets affected by biexciton formation. And this is a nonlinear effect, as this biexciton formation happens at high density of single excitons, which usually happens at intense illumination. As all electronic transitions, the biexcitons also decays to the crystal ground state by spontaneous emission. The process occurs in two steps. Firstly, emission of a photon and formation of an exciton, and secondly by the decay of this exciton. The first process gives rise to new luminescence lines occurring on the low energy side of the free exciton emission. After discussing various processes that leads to changes in the absorption coefficient and subsequently the refractive index of the materials, let's now discuss the processes of electro-optic effect, where the change in optical properties is produced by the application of an electric field. One of the well-known effect in this category is the quantum confined Stark effect. You all know the Stark effect, where the energy levels and consequently the optical spectra of an atom gets modified by an applied electric field. For a bulk semiconductor, if an electric field is applied across it, the absorption edge exhibits a low energy tail below the energy gap as shown in this figure. And this effect is known as the Franz-Geldish effect, and it results from the shift of the valence and the conduction bands under the influence of the electric field. Without any electric field applied, these dotted lines represents the conduction band and the valence band edges, and the separation between them corresponds the band gap of the material. So optical absorption should happen for photon energies equal to or greater than this band gap value. But when an electric field is applied, the entire band bends. For example, if the applied electric field is towards the right hand side, then the bands bends in this manner. The nature of electron and hole wave function also changes from plane wave to airy functions, with tails extending into the classically forbidden band gap region. These overlapping tails can lead to optical absorption at photon energies below the band gap value, and this absorption produces the tailing and absorption coefficient in semiconductors. Quantum confined structures also exhibit pronounced changes in their optical spectra when an electric field is applied along the direction of confinement, that is along the vertical direction in this figure. In the absence of an external electric field, electrons and holes within the quantum well occupy the states within a discrete sets of energy subbands. When an external electric field is applied, the electron states shift to lower energy while the hole states shift to higher energies. Or in other words, the interband separation changes as the electric field pushes the electron and hole wave function to opposite side of the quantum confined region. The spatial separation between the electron and hole is limited by the presence of the potential barriers around the quantum well, and it cannot be separated to a distance greater than the width of the quantum well. That means excitons are able to exist in the system even under the influence of an electric field. However, due to the separation of the electron and hole wave functions, the binding energy of the exciton decreases, and this leads to the broadening of excitonic peaks in the absorption spectra. However, the shift of the excitonic peak is larger than the broadening. This animation shows the change in the absorption spectrum of gallium arsenide, aluminum gallium arsenide quantum wells by externally applied voltages. You can see that at 0 volt, it clearly shows the excitonic features in the absorption spectra, and as the voltage is increased, two things happen. One, there is a shifting of absorption edge to the higher wavelength or shorter energy region, clearly showing the decrease in the band gap. Second thing is that excitonic peaks gets broadened as higher voltages are applied, and subsequently at very high voltages they disappear altogether. This shift of electrons and holes to the opposite sides of the quantum well decreases the overlap integral and hence reduces the permitted light absorption or emission. The quantum confined Stark effect is used in quantum confined Stark effect optical modulators, which allow optical communication signals to be switched on and off rapidly. The electric field can also mix different quantized states and leads to redistribution of oscillator strength between optically allowed and optically forbidden excited states. For example, in the absence of an electric field, only delta n equal to 0 transitions between the quantized levels of the conduction and valence bands are allowed for a symmetric quantum well. However, in the presence of an electric field, delta n equal to plus or minus 1 can also become optically allowed. So, new optical transitions are possible in the presence of an applied electric field. A major consequence of all these manifestations is a large change in the optical absorption corresponding to excitonic transitions as a function of applied electric field in the confinement direction. This effect, also called electroabsorption, leads to a corresponding change delta n in the real part of the refractive index and can be used to modulate the propagation of light by the application of an electric field. A major application of the quantum well devices is in electro-optic modulators, which utilizes this principle. Apart from the confinement due to the electric potentials, quantum confined structures also exhibit dielectric confinement effect produced by the difference in the dielectric constants of the confined semiconductor region and the confining potential barrier around it. However, this effect is not very strong in the case of quantum wells, where the potential barriers produced by compositional variations such as aluminum gallium arsenide and gallium arsenide do not introduce a large change in the dielectric constant and are often neglected. However, a quantum wire or a quantum dot is usually embedded in another semiconductor or a dielectric such as glass or polymer. In such cases, the dielectric constant of the surrounding medium is significantly lower than that of the confined semiconductor region, and hence it can lead to important manifestations due to dielectric confinement. Two major manifestations derived from the dielectric confinement are the enhancement of Coulomb interactions and enhancement of local field inside the quantum structure when illuminated by light. Discontinuity of dielectric constant at the interface induces polarization charges at the interface. This occurs when the DC or low frequency dielectric constant of the surrounding medium is lower than that of the quantum confined region, and this leads to an enhancement of Coulomb interaction between quantum confined states. Another point is that the dielectric confinement causes an effective reduction of the dielectric constant of the active region, which also leads to stronger electron-hole Coulomb interaction. The local field depends on the refractive index of a medium. A lower refractive index of surrounding medium confines the optical wave near the quantum structure and subsequently enhances the local field, which leads to an enhancement of the local field inside the quantum structure when illuminated by light.